working with escrow and lenders and all these things, you're going to have to quickly start doing that once you start producing, that it's going to take you out of the lane of sales. So the sooner that you hire an assistant and start delegating the communication, the behind the scenes work, the printing, the filing, the creating of the folders and all these things, the sooner you can offload that kind of stuff, the more you can stay in the revenue generation mode.
Welcome to the Growth Drivers Podcast, the show where we break down the leadership frameworks, mindset shifts, and strategies that fuel entrepreneurial success, personal transformation, and business breakthroughs.
I'm Rachel Novak.
And I'm Mike Novak.
Let's dive in and start driving your growth.
Welcome back. Today we're talking about 5 mistakes that we made as new real estate agents.
It's true. When you first get into the industry, you get so excited about helping clients and getting clients and servicing them that it's really easy to not think about the business side or systems inside the business at first.
Yeah, for sure. And now we've got the benefit of 1,500 plus transactions. And we can look back and say, hey, these are mistakes in retrospect that we maybe made. And hopefully, if you're a newer agent, you can learn from this, right? And avoid some of these same things that, we kind of struggled with.
Exactly.
So,
well, and I'll also say, obviously, we've talked a lot about getting coaches and having a coach in business, but it's very possible that your coach isn't even coaching on the actual business, because a lot of coaching companies will focus on just client acquisition and servicing. So these are some of the 5 mistakes that we made. And maybe if you're listening to this and you're newer into the industry, or you've been in the industry for a minute and haven't done any of these, or have done these, you can learn from our mistakes as well.
Yeah, and our first year was actually a really good year in real estate. Just to give context, looking back on it, we did 79 transactions, just the two of us, with like a assistant TC that kind of jumped in like the last couple months of the year.
Yeah,
so
last
for
quarter.
most of it was just you and I, and we pushed it really hard. So a lot of things went well. I think one of the things that went really, really well, like one of the best decisions we made, is we did have a coach from day one.
Yeah,
that was something that definitely paid off. And we've talked about some other things in the past that worked really well for us as well. But today we're going to focus on the things that we could have done differently, having the hindsight that we have now. So
exactly.
First one, leaning too heavily on paid leads. Why is this a mistake?
Well, I think that if you get into a rhythm of putting all of your eggs in one basket and having one big pillar of business, that may pay off for a little while. I'm thinking also agents who maybe lean on just Zillow leads and don't nurture other pillars. It can bite you in the butt really quick.
It can be super expensive, right?
Totally.
We were spending a lot of money, and a lot of times you're not going to get that money back for an extended period of time. There's something that I call a cash conversion cycle. And what that refers to is how long it's going to take me to get back the money I just invested in this lead source. And some lead sources can be 9 months to 2 years, right? So you need to make sure you've got plenty of money to fund something that long,
Right.
if you're going to do paid leads. But I think that the balancing act is to do some paid leads and do some sphere, right? I see agents also making the mistake of doing no paid leads, and they end up selling like 3 houses their first year. So I think that's also a huge mistake.
Totally.
This is kind of a balancing act in the economy.
Totally. Yeah. I mean, again, like you said, if you're leaning too heavily on paid leads, but you haven't set up, systems within your CRM, or you're not role playing and scripting and learning language patterns, then you're going to burn a lot of those opportunities without knowing it. So, relying heavily on paid leads, because, to be fair, our first year, 95% of our closings were paid leads. Yeah. So we proved that, yes, you can work them. But then what happened was we hadn't built any other pillars or invested any other time in any other areas of client acquisition that we probably should have at the time.
Right. So I think a good mix would be like 50-50 if you can your first year. Have half your business come from paid lead sources like pay-per-click. I'm not sure I recommend Zillow to newer agents because it's so expensive.
Yeah.
But I think pay-per-click is a really, really good option. The other half come from open houses, and Sphere.
Exactly. Yep. Totally.
Number 2 is not systematizing our PCSOI, which is past clients and sphere of influence. I think that we felt like, hey, we're new to real estate, so no one's going to want to use this, so why even spend any time on this? And that's a huge mistake. You know, like you need to make sure people know that you're in real estate and not wait to be like uber successful to get the word out.
I agree. And I think this is kind of a double-edged sword, I will say, because, and I just had this conversation with a new agent. She'd been in the industry for 6 months. Just the other day, and she called me, you know, because it's a tough year for a lot of agents. A lot of agents are really hurting in this market.
We're getting a lot of these kind of calls right now.
Yes, I'm talking to a lot of agents right now. But her biggest thing was, you know, I got into real estate and I know so many people. I'm from here. I grew up here. I know tons of people. I went to high school here. But none of my friends want to use me, or none of them, you know, like want to buy or sell right now. And so there is kind of this initiation period in real estate where for the first year or two, because real estate agents are so, like there's so many of us, we're a dime a dozen, totally honestly, people who have their real estate license, that your sphere kind of needs to see proof. They kind of need to see track record. So I understand the side of like, let's look at other lead sources like pay-per-click in the first little while. But what we didn't do was start systematizing the past clients that we were servicing right away. And that's kind of what we're referring to, right?
Yeah.
Like, yes, open houses, yes, letting people know you're in real estate, utilizing social media, going to any and all family, friend events that you can kind of be like, oh, well, this is what I'm doing. This is how I'm doing it. And people ask you how the market is, know what you're going to answer. That's a part of it. But it's, okay, now that we've closed these clients over this year, how are we now continuing to keep in touch with them on a regular basis? That's what we didn't set up right away.
Right, with the goal ultimately being that this person's going to send me other referrals.
Exactly.
Right? Like if you can get one referral per closed deal and then also 5 to 7 years later get that person as a seller that was a buyer, that's a huge win. That's now 3 transactions out of 1.
Yeah,
right?
Your business will explode.
Yeah. And so some of those things include like home anniversary process, like a card and a gift card or something. Birthdays, make sure you're collecting birthdays and reaching out on those days and sending them something. A quarterly mailed gift we like to do. I think even doing client events, even when you've only done like 10 or 15 past clients, still makes sense to start the habit like really early on.
Totally. And it's okay if it's small. It's okay if you have like 6 people come. Like that can still be an event for people that you're providing a service or you're providing something for them to enjoy, get to touch base with you. Again, like these things you can start small and then scale up as your past client list grows. Right.
I also like doing a video market report monthly to past clients. I like having a home valuation set up on them. We use Real Scout for this or Ylopo. Either one's great. But being like the source of information for your past clients in real estate is really, really important. And then just having like, you know, a couple handfuls of touches each year as well.
That's exactly right.
The next one, waiting too long to hire an assistant. Why is this a mistake, and how can this come back to bite you in the butt?
We've talked about this on the podcast before, but you very, very quickly in real estate will start having to spend your time on non-dollar producing activities, the admin work, the marketing work, the computer work, the organization, the communication with escrow and lenders and all these things. You're going to have to quickly start doing that once you start producing, that it's going to take you out of the lane of sales. So the sooner that you hire an assistant and start delegating the communication, the behind the scenes work, the printing, the filing, the creating of the folders and all these things, the sooner you can offload that kind of stuff, the more you can stay in the revenue generation mode and therefore continue to drive business upward.
Right. You know, what I've seen people do is like they get a surge of business and they end up frantic and then kind of like in survival mode to get those transactions across the closing table.
Yep.
And then they completely stop doing what they were doing to get those transactions. And they're playing like transaction coordinator and assistant and, you know, task manager. So that's that trap that people fall into. So, you know, we always tell people like, you know, when you've got 6 months of the person's salary saved up, go ahead and hire an assistant. When you're trending like 1.5 to 2 deals a month consistently, hire an assistant. Don't wait until you're like, you know, just barely breathing and like drowning, you know?
Yeah. Well, and you know, I want to encourage you, like if it's something that you've kind of been thinking about or pondering, you know, what we've found in these instances is when you're trending that 1.5 deals per month, and then you have that money saved up, you bring that person in, you start training them, they start shadowing you and understanding the pieces that they're going to take off of your plate. It puts a lot of pressure on you to continue to produce. It brings built-in accountability to your business to continue to do the things to generate money. So this is a built-in accountability tool for you to build your business. Hire that assistant. Like when you've got that money, when you've got one and a half deals trending, bring them in. It will force you to level up your business.
Totally. Number 4, this is a big one, and this is one that people don't think about. Believing that a team is the best place to make money in real estate. Like that's what we were told. And like, I think there's just kind of an assumption, like if you're a high volume agent, you need to have a team. And that's what I believe for sure, because that's what I was told. And in retrospect, you don't need a team, right?
Correct.
You can go really, really far as a high producing agent with leverage around you.
Exactly.
So you can build a team in a different way. Like we call it the micro team, where you have an assistant, a showing partner, a listing coordinator, and you could do 120 transactions a year with those 3 people and work 40 to 50 hours a week and make 7 figures.
Yep.
Like you're talking massive money, right? Yep. Without a lot of headaches. But instead, we jumped into building a team really, really quickly. And we had 20 agents at one point.
27.
I think it was like 2 years into the process. We're like, one day we looked around like, what the hell are we doing here? Like, we're not really making any money off this team. All of our money is made from our personal production. So some teams do make money. It's true. And our team has made money certain years. But most teams don't. Like we have the benefit of being in certain masterminds and groups where there is transparency, and most of those teams don't make money. Even some of the big ones that are out there selling at 1,500 houses a year.
That's exactly right. The hidden myth behind being a team leader is that there is nothing glamorous or sexy about running a team. And a lot of teams that you see who are really high dollar producing or have tons of agents, and you see these team leaders kind of boasting about all these huge transaction counts and all these agents they have, most of them, we know we have the benefit of being on the inside of a lot of these masterminds, like Mike said, they're not actually making money on them. They are generating leads. They're having to take care of people. They're having to pay out all this money, and the profit margin is less than it would be on a small team with leverage. So are you in it to bring on a ton of agents and not make a lot of money? Or would you rather live a very simple life and make a lot of money with a little bit of leverage? It's your call. But for us, we thought that having a team was what we wanted. We wanted a big team. That was what we were going to do. That's how you make a lot of money. And we just found that to not be the case.
Right. Even on the best year of the team, our personal commissions accounted for 500% more take-home money.
To us, exactly.
Right. Because it's not what you sell, it's what you net. Right?
Exactly.
Just like most of sellers.
Exactly right.
Number 5, not setting up solid expense controls and bookkeeping. Why is this problematic? And no agents think about this for some reason.
No, this is the biggest blind spot in the real estate industry, hands down. And this is what we didn't do that first year. It was so chaotic, and we were honestly like slinging so many houses, just the two of us, that we didn't even think about it. We didn't have time to like book this commission and then break out what we were making and break out the taxes.
Tell a very transparent story. In May of 2017, we broke $100,000 in GCI for our first month. We didn't know that until October. And we didn't even deposit the checks until October. Like, it took that long. We were just in like survival mode because we were running so hard trying to build a business that we would get a closing check and just get slammed in a file drawer or in a closet, and we go back to the phones, right?
Closet.
It's just like, there's not even time to deposit this check, much less, go to the bathroom or get a drink of water, back on the phone, right?
Yeah. No, it was crazy talk. And I remember there was one time I went to the bank and I opened my backpack with my folder with all the checks in it, and I think I had 16 checks that I had to deposit. Like, it was just,
here's $200,000.
Yeah, it was ridiculous. And so obviously maybe you're not dealing with that situation. That was
It's a good problem to have.
Yeah, it was a great problem. But maybe you are struggling with where to spend the money, or when you get a commission check in, you're not necessarily breaking out like in your books, whether you're using QuickBooks or Mint or if you even have like something set up. That start there, like get something set up for financial tracking. Are you putting away 35 to 40% for taxes and not touching it? Are you making sure that you're actually calculating your cost per closing? Like, what was the lead acquisition cost? Did I get this from Zillow? Did I have to pay a referral fee? Like, you're getting the net, of course, from the brokerage, from after paying all of these things, but there's still other things that you're paying. There's the gas, there's the automobile, your oil changes, there's the, like I said, the cost acquisition for the lead. There's all these other things that you have to pay. Like, are you actually tracking those to actually look at what your profit is in those checks? and expense controls. Like, are you making sure that your Zillow overhead isn't going wild? Are you making sure that any little tiny subscriptions for stupid little, real estate tools or AI tools, that you're not subscribed to 14 of them? Like, all these little things, are you checking your books every single month and making sure that these little tiny expenses aren't getting out of control? Because that's what happens really, really quickly. And that's how agents end up not making it through these lower times. Like in 2025, there's a lot of agents hurting because there were a lot of agents that were kind of living commission check to commission check and did not have expense controls in place and did not put away money for rainy days and raise their standard of living and their cost of living to a certain income that they are not making anymore. It makes it very difficult.
Right. Yeah. No. So best thing, get a QuickBooks subscription, connect it to your bank account, spend 10 minutes a day in there, just cost cutting transactions. You can go on Upwork or have your CPA go in there and create a chart of accounts, which just gives you a P&L format for real estate, and you're off to the races. We also we are partnered with Simple Numbers now. So like if somebody wants just like a done for you system, Simple Numbers would be a good contact. You can always reach out to us. We do an introduction for you to Simple Numbers. They run all of ours now, and it's just like a done for you service.
And they have the most, like, it's so simple, per their name. It's so simple and yet so comprehensive for your business that it will actually break down like what percentage of your income you're spending in each area when you do the quarterly call with them. So they're very transparent. They're very good about like, hey, like this one right here is out of line. Like, you probably should watch the expense here. You probably should try to look at your lead source expenses or whatever. So yeah. Another shout out for Simple Numbers. They're great.
Yeah. So those are 5 things that we would probably do differently if we were to do this all over again. And they're things that if you're a newer agent, you could definitely think about. If you've got questions on these, you can, of course, DM us on Instagram. I'm at The Real Mike Novak.
And I am at Rachel Novak with the extra A.
And of course, we're at Real Brokerage. If you're looking at a brokerage that is really built on technology and is the future of real estate, reach out to us to discuss mentorship and partnership with Real. We are sponsoring agents across the country, up in Canada as well.
Absolutely.
See you next week.
See you then. That's a wrap on today's episode of Growth Drivers.
If you found value in this conversation, don't forget to subscribe, leave a review, and share this with a fellow entrepreneur.
For more insights, tools, and resources, visit us at thewarrioragent.com.
Keep pushing forward, keep leading with purpose, and we'll see you next time.